Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Disabled Team, and welcome to your chat with Stel. How are we doing, Stel?
Great to be on your channel. You've been following us for so long. When you messaged me saying, "Can you come on for a show?" I didn't even hesitate to say, "Yeah, of course." So it's good to be here with you guys.
Well, I was just about to say, something, Stel. I've reached out to a lot of channels, and I'm going to be honest with you. Of opposition channels, and you're the first one not only to message me, but to actually come on without any hesitation straight away. You jumped straight for it, and I'm grateful for you. And you lads over there do a great job, and I hope people do go subscribe to your channel from this. Yes, it's more. You're going to a lot more in-depth information about stuff than what this channel ever will, and you've got some great people on your show. Will with his stats and everything. But I just wanted to have a quick chat with you, still. Just with it being your first show, let's break you in gently. And I wanted to talk to you about some players from Spurs, if you don't mind.
Yeah, let's do it.
Right, Jed Spence, Stel, what did you reckon when you found out that Jed Spence were going to come to Leeds?
Well, I wasn't surprised he was going to go on loan because there's a lot of players at Spurs that just aren't going to play for us, and if no one's going to buy them, then they're going to go on loan. So when I found out that he was going to go on loan to Leeds, it was no surprise because he just came back from a loan to a French club as well. Have we lost Stu, Lee?
I think so, yeah.
he asked me a question and then he went and put the kettle on. All right, well, look, until Stu comes back, he's probably got some camera issues. Yeah, I'm not surprised Jed Spence is on loan to you guys. It makes sense because Championship sides probably know more about Jed Spence than what Premier League clubs do because we got him from a Championship side at the time. And he wasn't actually a bad player in the Championship. He did quite well for Nottingham Forest. So I don't think he's a bad player. But whether it's an attitude issue or we signed the wrong player for the system that we want to play, because a lot of times when you sign players, it's not just about, oh, go and sign a really good player. Do they fit the way that your manager wants to play football? Because Antonio Conte, who was our last manager, plays completely different to the way Ange Postecoglou plays. One's possession-based, on the front foot, quick attacks. The other manager was sit back, absorb pressure, then try and counter-attack. Two different systems. So, unfortunately, Jed Spence didn't fit for Conte. Conte didn't want him, by the way. When we signed Spence, Conte came out and publicly said, this is a club signing. It's something the club wanted. He made it very clear it wasn't him. But in a different system under Ange Postecoglou, Ange doesn't want him either. I don't know whether that's because Pedro Porro, who plays in the same position, is much, much better, or whether he just doesn't think Spence is good enough for what he wants to do. I know there's been some rumours of attitude problems, which might be okay for you guys up at Leeds because you like it a bit rough and tough up there. So maybe he'll fit in with the Leeds brigade. But I think Jed Spence could actually be a half decent loan deal for you guys. I think that's one that could work out for you guys, if I'm honest. What do you think, Lee? What do you think about Jed Spence? Do you know much about him?
I've been watching in a couple of Tottenham players. Yeah, I think it could be good.
Do you remember him when he played for Nottingham Forest at all, or not?
No.
Because he had a really good season there. There was one game he played. Oh, yeah. Stu's back. There was one game he played against Arsenal in the FA Cup when Nottingham Forest beat Arsenal.
Yeah.
And Jed Spence had a really, really good game that day. And I think a lot of people kind of looked at him and thought, oh, who's this player? Yeah. So, yeah, look, I think Jed Spence, as long as there's no attitude issues, I think he could be a good loan deal for Leeds United.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't. I missed all that when the internet went for a Burton. But look, I'm assuming that Lee, were you happy with your response on that for you?
Yeah.
Right, let's move on to the next player then. Right, Leeds have been linked this morning, still with Ben Davies. Would he be a good fit for Leeds United in Championship?
Yeah, it'd be a really good fit for you guys. So look, I'm not a big fan of Ben Davies because I guess without trying to put down Leeds United, when I look at Spurs, the money we've got, the stadium we've built, I expect us to now challenge for league titles, FA Cups. I expect us to be right up there now. Otherwise, what was the point of all of this that we've done at the club?
Yeah.
So is Ben Davies going to lead us to a league title? No. Is he going to help us try and win a Champions League or a Europa Cup? No, he's not. But is he a steady Eddie? Can he come in and do a job? Yes, he can. We lost Romero and Van der Ven, our two best centre-backs, and we were left with Ben Davies, Dyer, and Emerson Royale, which is not a good situation to be in if you're a so-called Big Six club. And he did a really good job, I have to say. Except for one or two games where he was iffy, he actually did a really good job for us. So if he can do that for us, there's no reason why he can't come to Leeds United and do a really good job for you guys as well. The only thing he hasn't got is pace. One thing he doesn't have is pace. But he can tackle. He'll put his neck on the line. He's not clumsy. His passing's okay. In the air, he's actually deceptively better than what his height suggests.
Right.
But but pace-wise, he hasn't got any pace.
For some reason, Daniel Farker, every press conference he talks about, right? He goes on about Joe Rodon and Dan James being Welsh. He's got this fascination with Welsh players, and I don't know what it is. But speaking about Joe Rodon, Stel, it's been absolutely fantastic for Leeds, and I mean it. Look, whether that's because it's a championship and it's the next level down from Premier League, I don't know, but it's been a rock. It's been everywhere. It's covered. We played. Who did we play when we had Cooper in league? Who were it? It might have been. I think it was Cardiff, right? And Cooper's it's no spring chicken anymore, and they were caught out of position 3 or 4 times. And the amount of ground Joe Rodon covered to get across to his side to mop up, and I honestly thought that Joe Rodon would have done you world of good if you had him in your squad over Eric Dyer, Ben Davies, and you know what I mean.
Yeah, look, Stu, Joe Rodon's not a bad player. He wasn't a bad player at Spurs. He came on and played for us away to Chelsea, where we got a draw in the FA Cup when we were really up against it, and he put in a really, really good performance. He was never a bad player. The issue is we signed him during a troublesome period at the club where we were sacking Poch and not backing him, bringing in Jose Mourinho, who got sacked before he got us to a cup final, which was bizarre. Then it turned toxic. Then in came Nuno, which was a disaster. Then we got rid of him after 10 games. In came Conte. He just took a grenade and blew everything up. And for a young player that we signed, it was the worst environment for any young player to push on. Jed Spence probably suffered during that period as well, and other players like Tanganga and so on. So he was never a bad player, but he was at Spurs at the wrong time. I agree with you. I think he could have done a better job than Eric Dyer. I actually think I totally agree with that. I can't disagree with it. But the timing was just abysmal. Now he's not going to have a hope in hell of getting into the Spurs squad because we've got Romero, Van der Ven, and Dragusin, who are all really, really, really good players, like really good players. So I think he's probably missed the boat. And plus, we've signed another youngster called Ashley Phillips from Blackburn Rovers, who he's on loan with Plymouth Argyle at the moment, and he's doing well. So he looks like he's going to be a young player that's going to break in. So I don't think Joe Rodon's going to have a career at Spurs, but he was never a bad player, Stu. I'm not surprised he's doing well at Leeds because he was never a bad player. He shouldn't have come to Spurs. I think he saw a big club, the opportunity came, you don't turn it down. But I think if he was to analyse the decision to come to Spurs, he'd probably admit that I should never have gone there. That was the wrong move for my career progression. So yeah, I'm glad. Listen, I'm glad he's doing well. I'm glad he's doing well for Leeds.
It's solid. It's solid still. Do you know what I'm worried about? Right, when Ben White were at Leeds, that's promotions winning season under Bielsa, right? I'm speaking for most 90% of Leeds fan base, 99% of Leeds fan base. We got attached to him, and we tried everything to get him from Brighton, and the problem was he wanted to come, but he didn't want to put in a transfer request. So I think we went up to £45 million for him. Now, I'm just frightened that if we all get this attachment to Joe Road and we all want him to sign, I thought Leeds might have gone in for him, gone to Tottenham and said to him in this window and says, look, we'll buy him off you now. You know what I mean? Because I do think come end of season, because he's that good of a defender, and I'm not just saying that because you're here, he's that good of a defender. I think Tottenham will be in a position where they can command more money than what Leeds are going to be willing to pay for him.
I don't know, Stu, because we only paid about £10 million for him. So
right,
if you come in with a bid of anything between 10 to 15 million pounds, don't be surprised if you get him, because beggars can't be choosers. Spurs can't start saying we want £30 million for Joe Rodon, because no one's going to pay that. We've tried that with other players, and they all end up going on loan, and in the end, the contract runs out, and they end up going on a free. So I think if you put in a bid between 10 to 15 million, I think you'll get Joe Rodon. Unless another club really wants him and they think, oh, look how good he is at Leeds, let's bid 20 million and get him. Then the highest bidder will get him. But I think between 10 to 15 million, Leeds will. I don't see you not being able to buy him at a fair price.
Well, before we carry on, please check out Stel's channel, Tottenham Away. Links in the description. It's actually in the title. You just click on it and it'll take you straight through to his channel. You know, he don't ask for them. He don't. You know, I don't think I've ever heard. I mean, how many times have I watched your show, Stel? About 2, 3. I don't think I've ever heard you ask for them. Really, I don't think you ask for anything. You just do it like what we do it, and that's why that's what attracted me to your channel, because you do. You know, you're as honest as the day comes. You've got some good people on show with you. You know, and it'll be good for Leeds. It'll be good for Leeds fan base to actually go check out a Tottenham channel, and yours is the one I would recommend highly. Can we talk a bit about Spurs, if you don't mind, Stel?
Yeah.
Timo Werner. Bit of a surprise one for me is Timo Werner.
Yeah. So you've got different trains of thought here. Some say, yeah, brilliant bit of business because it's free. It's low risk. If it doesn't work out, we just send him back after 6 months. Other fans look at it as a bit of an underwhelming signing. Like, is that the best we can do? We're supposed to be this rich club now that's done everything the right way. So FFP shouldn't really affect us the way it's affecting other clubs. We should be able to go out there and bring in players and show that all these years of pain under Levy, now it's all going to pay off. And then you've got fans like me that just think it's just a really poor signing. I don't rate Timo Werner as a player. We desperately need more goals and creativity at Spurs, and I don't think he brings anything. I watched his debut against Man United. He had 4 chances to score. He had a header, he missed the target. He had a shot, he hit the roof of the stadium. He had another shot which was blocked, fair enough. And then he had almost a one-on-one with the keeper, and he's dragged the shot wide. And I'm thinking to myself, you can't even hit the target. And Man United have got Onana in goal, right? They've got an absolute joker for a goalkeeper, and you can't even make him work. I was just everything I feared, I saw in one game. But then a lot of Spurs fans said, "Oh, it's only one game. Give it time." But you're 27. You're talking as if he's a 20-year-old. If he was 18, 19, give it time. All right, he's 27. He's a seasoned pro. He's played for Chelsea. He's played for RB Leipzig. He's played for his national team, Germany. But what do you mean, give it time? He's only here for 6 months. There's only 4 months left of the season. There's no time left. You've got to come in and start showing us something. Look, I think it's an average signing. I'm very underwhelmed by it. I think Spurs have done brilliantly changing the goalkeeper, bringing in a new defence, fixing the midfield. But when it comes to the forward players, I think we've made a mess of it. Solomon on a free, no good. In my opinion, he's average. Timo Werner, average. Veliz is a kid from Argentina. None of us know anything about him. And then there's Brennan Johnson, who so far has been a flop. A lot of money we paid for him, and he's been a flop. So we really needed someone like, do you remember Rafinha used to play for Leeds?
Yeah.
That's the kind of player Spurs needs on the wing. We need someone like that. So when we're signing Timo Werner on a free, all I'm thinking is this is just another cheap Levy stunt. I've been here before. I've seen this many a time. We did something similar last year. We signed Dan Juma. That was a waste of time. So my view on it is I'm just not impressed. And the fact that he was the fourth choice forward at Leipzig says it all. So look, some say I'm harsh. Some say I just hate Tottenham. And you've asked me about Timo Werner specifically. I'm not impressed by it at all. I do not rate the transfer, the signing of Timo Werner. The centre-back we signed last week, Dragusin, brilliant. I think that's an excellent bit of business and a great price that we paid as well. I could praise that all day long, but Timo Werner...
Yeah. Well, you've got 2 steps forward and 1 step back.
We've just gone for the cheap. We've just gone for the cheap and cheerful, Stu. We've done it again. We've done that cheapo. This will work out, won't it? No, it won't. It won't work out. Not in my view.
You see, you brought Jackson in at the same time, and I don't get it. I don't understand it. You go for a top class defender. So he's a defender, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Jackson, is he a midfielder or a defender still?
Dragusin's a centre back.
So you brought in a centre back of his quality. So you sorted out, and you've got probably arguably the best goalkeeper this season in Vicario. I think he's up there. He's up there, and he's definitely up there.
Yeah.
And then then you go in and bring Timo Werner. It don't make sense to me. It don't make sense. And you knew about the club knew about this African Cup of Nations and Asia Cup and everything months ago.
The thing is, look, we've got Kulusevski that can play out wide, and we've got Heung-min Son, who's a quality player.
Yeah.
But if one of them's missing, then what? Okay, we've got Richarlison, but he's a tapping merchant. He scores headers from 6 yards out. He's not going to create. He's not going to get you. He's not going to put away those one-on-ones. He's not going to do what players like Harry Kane could do for us. I don't expect anyone to do what Kane did, but at least show us something more than just a tap-in. So if we've got no Son and we've got no Kulu, then what? We're in trouble. We're looking at players like Brennan Johnson, Timo Werner, Solomon, Brian Gill, Veliz. I mean, they're all very, very average. And it's weird because we've done so well with the transfers in midfield. We've done really well with the transfers in defence and goal. It's almost like we got to the final bit of the pitch and we lost the plot. We just completely lost the plot.
Well, you're 5 points behind Arsenal at this point. Sorry, 5 points behind Liverpool at this moment in time, aren't you?
Yeah.
So why didn't the back? I mean, look, speaking about backing Big Ange, how good's Big Ange been for you, by the way?
Oh, brilliant. Absolutely amazing. He's brought everyone together, the fans, the board, the club, the media like us. Rival fans are jealous of us. We're getting a lot of praise from people that were calling Ange naive and stupid 2 months ago. Now they're all saying, do you know what? We want a bit of that. So he's been a breath of fresh air. But like any manager, they need to be backed. And they need to be backed consistently. Otherwise, it will just unravel. So I think this summer is going to be very, very telling for Spurs. Because Daniel Levy's got this habit of, he likes to build from a place of weakness. So when it's all collapsed, right, I better do something now. I better change it all. But when you're there, and you just need to go that one notch up, he never does it. And let's see what he does this time round. Because I think that's the only thing that's been missing at our club, really. Everything else is there. But we kind of seem to be one of those clubs that's just happy with top 4. As long as we get top 4, it's a trophy, you know. But
I think Arsenal it's the same. I think Edu come out and said something about that. It's not all about winning trophies. It's you know what I mean. And I thought it is about winning trophies. That's what you enter competitions for. You want to win trophies. Fans want to see a trophy in a trophy cabinet. Fans want to be able to boast and brag to the rivals that they've got the trophy and your rivals haven't. And you know, it's. Do you know what Big Ange reminds me of when you said about bringing fans together, club together, and everything? Bielsa at Leeds, he brought everyone together. Now, I'm not comparing Big Ange to Bielsa because Bielsa it were 100 mile an hour football. Plan A, if Plan A don't work, and if Plan A don't work, Plan B will be try Plan A better. And I think with Big Ange, I think he has got different tactics about him, and he still.
I think with Bielsa, there's only two things that let him down. One was he neglected defensive aspects of the game. He was just a little bit too gung-ho and left that defense too exposed too often. Or he didn't have the right players that could recover when pushing so high up. The other thing is, I think he was very unlucky because for me, Bamford's a top striker. I think Bamford's quality. But the poor bloke's been plagued with injury. I think if Bamford wasn't as injured as much under Bielsa, you would have converted a lot more chances because you used to miss a lot of chances. I remember Arsenal beat you 1-0 and I thought it's Leeds United are all over them. How have they lost this game? It's because you couldn't score. And I think if Patrick Bamford stayed healthy more under Bielsa, I think it could have been a different story for you guys. I mean, I saw that goal he scored in the FA Cup the other day. Oh my God. That is a sensational goal. That is, if Mbappe, Messi, De Bruyne scores that goal, give him the Ballon d'Or. That goal was sublime. When he chested it, look what he did to the defender. The defender fell on his ass. The defender couldn't believe what just. He destroyed the defender just by jumping in the end, and then the way he swiveled and hit it on the on the volley was. He's a great player. I think if you can keep him fit. That's a top player. I've always liked Bamford, but he was always injured under Bielsa.
Well, up to 3 games ago, Stel, he were done. He were done. Everyone, all Leeds fans wanted him out at club and everything. They wanted Bamford gone. He missed a penalty. I can't remember who it were against. I know he's missed a couple, but this season he missed a penalty and everybody were raving, get him out of our club and all sorts. And I thought, wow, his family were getting death threats. He were getting death threats. It were bad. It were really bad. I wanted him gone. But now that he's scoring goals again, it's Bamford again.
He's always been a good player. Just injuries have plagued him. That's all it is. When you always get injured, it's hard to get momentum. It's hard to get into any kind of rhythm or pattern, and it's very frustrating. He must be mentally fatigued as well, being injured all the time as well. It's not an easy thing as a player, to not play. Like, what do? You just sit there, get medical treatment every day. I mean, how your brain's going numb.
Yeah. He's got feelings as a human being, and he's got feelings at the end of the day. These footballers aren't superheroes. The normal people at the end of the day, and they hurt like we do. They feel like we do, and we sometimes I think fans can be a bit too. What's the word? A bit
harsh.
Too harsh. Yeah, too harsh. Yeah, definitely. I've always said it's all right to criticise a player, but don't bloody do anything else to him. IRL, tell me, I hope you're doing well. And Leeds Angels at Well Coffee. Aman is one of our only moderator. She's our only moderator. She does a cracking job. Adam, I hope you had your kudos shirt in the back of your wardrobe last night game. Jessie's the one who's just started up a new channel, female who's just started up a new channel.
Good luck with it.
One of the stable members. I'm good as well. We're doing well of Indomit. Subscribe to your new channel, Adam. Thank you, Jess. That's the other disabled lad who started up a channel today. So well done, Adam. Hi everyone. Yes, so look, everyone, as you can see, it's a pretty relaxed thing, and it's a community, a bit like yours. Still, I don't hardly see any trouble in yours. And when it does get in there, you stamp it out.
Yeah, I just block people. I can't be bothered. I just block them.
It's frustrating, but like I said, it's a really fat. It's just it's these ones who were in community now have been with us from day one from 3 years ago. So Danny's a new lad from one of the big Leeds youth fan channels. Please go check out Stel Danny. You'll like him. Trust me, mate. You will like him. We get the worst players from Leipzig. If they would have kept Harry, they may have got a trophy. What about that comment about Harry Kane? Still, was it time for him to go?
He wanted out. He fired a warning to the club 2 years ago, where he was flirting with going to Manchester City, but Levy demanded a fee. Man City weren't prepared to pay that fee, so he said, "We're not going anywhere. You're under contract." So in the end, he was forced to stay. He downed tools as well. He was terrible under Nuno, and then Conte came in and he kind of perked up a bit, Harry, because he thought, right, we've got a winner now. Conte's going to be a winner. Then that all went wrong. And I think after the whole Conte debacle, it was the most toxic period. The whole Levy out, owners out was at its highest. The fans were turning. The media were turning against Levy. Everyone was turning. It wasn't a good look. And I think that was the point where Harry said, that's it, I'm done. And because there's only 1 year left on his contract, the club had to make a decision. Do we keep him for a year, then he leaves on a free and we get zero, or do we cash in? They had to cash in. You can't let Harry Kane go on a free. The guy's worth too much money. So off he went. Listen, he gave Spurs plenty of chances. He was here for Poch. He was here for Jose. He was here for Conte. He stayed loyal for 8-9 years, Harry. He could have gone to any club in the world, but he stayed loyal to us. We failed him. He did not fail us. We failed him. He was too good for Tottenham. We didn't have the same ambition as him. Some fans will say, oh, but he had chances to win trophies, but he never turned up. Well, not really. He was injured in the Champions League final. He should never have played that game. In the Carabao Cup final, we sacked Mourinho and put in Ryan Mason. So we pretty much handed the game to Pep. And that was it. They're the only finals we've played in. Spurs haven't played in any other finals with Harry Kane. So what chances he really had? If we had Harry Kane now, I think we'd be title contenders. But he wanted out. He made up his mind 2 years ago. He just had to wait to run down the contract, and that's what he did. And he basically put Daniel Levy, he backed Daniel Levy into a corner. He said to him, I'll stay for another year, but I'm not signing a contract, then you get nothing. Or you can sell me now. So he forced Levy's hand.
It's fair enough. I know you've got to shoot off soon. I know you're a busy man. I've got
15 minutes. I've got 15
right.
minutes.
Well, Danny says Spurs need Nonto and give us Davis. Is it? Would you take Willie Nonto?
I don't know much about him, if I'm going to be honest with you guys. I don't know much about him.
He's a winger. He can play out left. He can play out right. He can play down centre. Tricky customer. Problem is with him, Stel. He's 20-year-old. He's a petulant little child. Sometimes, if you don't get protected by referees, he don't halfway into them, and he makes some. He's just petulant, but he is really good. He's a really good player.
Yeah, he won't work for us because Ange picks up the phone and speaks to players before they come, and he assesses their mentality and their attitude. For him, that's more important above skill and ability is their mindset. And I think if he senses you're not quite there, he won't want him. So I think that's the issue we've got with Jed Spencer. Actually, I was kind of explaining it to Lee when your internet cut out. That's one of the issues we've had with Jed Spence.
Yeah, it's a shame for that lad. I mean, he must be half decent for Roberto Mancini to give him his debut at a young age for Italy first team. So he's got something about him still. He hasn't. He had that bit of a spell at the beginning where he refused. Well, it was his agent. He didn't. He didn't feel right to play for us. I think he had some sort of like a medical. It wasn't medical, but it were mental, and he didn't want to play for us. And so Farker made him train on his own. He's reintegrated him back into the first team. But how can you take away some of those place and Dan James's place, which
The,
seasons
the,
they're having already?
the thing is with Spurs, we've got a terrible track record with homegrown talent, right? We signed Rodon, didn't work out for us. Jed Spence didn't work out for us. Ryan Sessegnon hasn't worked out for us. We signed Jack Clark, hasn't worked out for us. We signed Brennan Johnson, it's not working out. We've got a really bad record of signing. The last time we signed a youngster that probably worked out for us was Gareth Bale and Dele Alli.
Yeah.
The only two that I could say in the last 15 odd years have come to Spurs and they've done well. The rest have been a disaster for us. Doesn't mean they're bad players. Just sometimes the environment, the stature of a club, the manager just doesn't suit you. So, like we said, Joe Rodon, he's doing really well for Leeds United, but Spurs, he doesn't even get a look in, doesn't even get any game time. So what's the point? So I'd be very worried about signing this Ganato because it's just, although he's not homegrown, he's Italian, like you said, but another youngster coming in, it's another one you've got to give time to. I think Spurs need to buy some established talent in the attacking areas now.
I think so. I think you're right. Amani says Vicario, Porro, Undogi, Van der Ven, Kula, Son, Madison, Richarlison, total thief.
I don't know about Richarlison, but yeah.
Do you think? I mean, he did that thing, did he? When he played for Brazil, he got dropped from Brazil side. He's come back. He's got back into the side. Do you think you've seen a different Richarlison to what you signed still? Or is it too early to say?
Well, he scored 13 goals for Everton. So if he scores 13 goals for us, that's the player we signed, right?
Yeah.
Look, at Spurs, we're a bit sport with strikers. I've grown up watching Jermaine Defoe, Robbie Keane, Dimitar Berbatov, Teddy Sheringham, Jurgen Klinsmann, Gary Lineker, Harry Kane. They all score 20, 25 goals a season. Like really, really good strikers. Really good strikers. Hyun-Min Son. So when I see a Richarlison, it's a drop-off. It's not the level.
It is a massive drop-off. It is. You're right. It is.
Yeah, he's not a terrible football player. He's not diabolical. But again, it's like the level you're at. Like, what are you trying to do? Are we trying to win a league title, a European trophy, or are we just trying to get top four? If you're just trying to get top four, then yeah, maybe Richarlison's okay. But if you want real success, he's not the answer. Not for me.
I've just had to put Adam on comment. I've just had to put him on timeout. Bless him. He's a good lad. He's a good, he's a lovely lad, but he does get a bit too carried away. He really does. Adam Chill, yeah. So I just took him away for a bit. He'll be back on. He'll be able to come back. He won't like me for doing it, but I don't care. Kevin, hope you're doing well, mate. Hope you're doing well. Danny, hope you're doing well, mate. Everyone else, Leeds Angels, hope you're doing well. Sinistera was turning his head, Danny. It was he's a troublemaker. That's where the fault laid. Talking about Nonto. Adam Chill, everyone's telling him to chill, yeah. So I've just took him out for 30 seconds. There you go. A proper question for you, Stel. Stel, what do you think of Hugo Lloris leaving when he left Tottenham? I rated him as a goalkeeper's position.
Listen, good club captain, phenomenal shot stopper, but he was on the decline. So he had to be. We actually should have sorted this issue with the goalie out a couple of years ago. We delayed it, and but look, I loved Hugo Lloris. I think he was a fantastic goalkeeper for Spurs, loyal as well, good servant to the club. I wish him all the best. Got nothing bad to say about Hugo. His distribution wasn't always great. That kind of cost us some goals at times, but okay. But overall, yeah, I thought he was a fantastic goalie. Won the World Cup with France as well. So, yeah, good luck to him. But he had to go. He was his time was up.
Right, and that leads us safely on to saying that your time's up with us still, unfortunately. But it's been a great chat with you, mate. Really do appreciate you coming on, and I hope everyone's learned something from you. But thank you, Stel. Please check out Stel's channel, Tottenham Away. It's in description. Please go over there, give him a subscribe. He's the only person who was number one ever got back to me by an email, and number two agreed to come on from an opposition football team, club. So thank you very much, Stel. Lee, have you learned a lot from Stel?
Yeah, I have, yeah.
Yeah, good man. Spurs keep the faith. That's from a Leeds fan. Spurs keep the faith. Spurs need a Klinsmann type player.
I'd love Klinsmann. I'd love a Klinsmann. I'd listen. Honestly, I would take Bamford at Spurs. I would, if he can stay fit and not be injury prone. I would love a Bamford at Spurs. I honestly think he's such a quality player. He's just been very unlucky with injury. Really unlucky. He's a bit like Sessegnon, always injured. Like Ryan Sessegnon, he's always injured for Spurs. He's been at the club for 5 years. He's played like maybe 10 games. It's ridiculous.
See, even another player what got whispered about yesterday, Ryan Sessegnon. I just don't see him coming to Leeds. Don't want him.
Let me tell you something about Sessegnon, okay? When he was at Fulham, he started off at left back, played most of the season, scored 7 goals. Then he went to they moved him more as a left winger, so they pushed him up the pitch. Scored 16 goals, had a fantastic season, and Spurs went in and bought him. Right. He comes to Spurs, and he hardly got a full game. He always came on as a sub, and he only got 2 goals. So it was a massive drop off, and then it was just injury prone the whole season. So for the next 4 years, he played 12 games, 20 games, 23 games. This is in all competitions. He scored 1 goal. The next season 0. The next season 0. The next season 2 assists. He got 3. Then he got 0. Then 2. It was a massive drop off from that one season he had at Fulham. And it's because he was injured constantly. And then because he came to us so young and he was injured for so many years, his development went down the toilet. So all his development at a crucial age went to pot. So now we're sitting on a player who's lacking development, lacking confidence, has got the most horrendous injury record. What do you do with it? His contract's going to end soon. In the Championship, maybe he can rediscover what he did at Fulham, maybe. But you're taking a massive gamble because he's so injury prone. It's unbelievable how many injuries this guy's had over 5 years. He's probably got the worst injury record of any Premier League player over the last 5 years. If I was Leeds United, I'd stay away. It's too risky. It's just too high risk for any club, in my opinion.
Yeah, we touched on Ben Davies earlier and still thinks he'd be a good player for Leeds. So, Danny, so yeah. Right, well,
Rodon and Davies, the Welsh combo as well. That might be good for you guys. Bit of camaraderie there in the back line.
Yeah, and I'll give Farkas something else to say about the Welsh in his press conferences as well, mate. Trust me. So he said, honest to God, you watch one of his press conferences, Dan James, and he's Welsh. Ampadu, he's Welsh. He's got this weird fascination with Wales.
Is he married? Is he married to a Welsh woman or something?
I don't know. I think, but he must be. He's got to be, Annie. He's got to be, or he's been there on a lot of holidays. I don't know. James, you enjoyed the knee stuff. Hi, Danny. He's back now. He's Adam. He's back. Thanks. Yeah. Well, look, guys. Look, Stel, I've kept you long enough, mate. You've got to shoot off. I know you've got work. You've got your conference call to do with work. But thank you once again for joining us, Stel. Much appreciated. Really do appreciate you coming on. And once again, guys, remember this is the first away fan who's actually not only replied to my emails, but agreed to come on to my show, which is fantastic. And we'll never forget that ever. Never ever forget that.
Adam, mate, listen, I think this channel's a great cause, and I think you're doing a lot for the community. And there's a lot of channels that are starting up off the back of your work. So for me, I'm more than happy to help you guys. Keep it up. Keep doing what you're doing, and everyone that watches this show, tell your friends and family to like and subscribe and help these guys grow their channel.
Right, thank you very much. And guys, thank you for taking time to watch us. And there's only one for to say. Thank you for watching the Stable Team and have a great day, guys. Take care. It's a goodbye from me.
Goodbye for me.
Goodbye.
Take care, everybody. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.